Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex, and in today's video we have Rachel with Nike. You are the GM for women's running with Nike Europe, but you were also into products before, and you worked on the Pegasus 41. Rachel, thank you very much for first to be here with us. One of the first questions, obviously, and many people will ask it, what's so special about the Peg 41, and what's the differences between this one and the predecessor, the Pegasus 40?
Well, I think quite simply, it's really that the Peg 41 is better for runners, better for the planet, or with less energy wasted. To explain the key differences, actually maybe is good to talk about what we kept the same. We were actually inspired by an old Pegasus advert from 2005, which maybe doesn't sound that inspirational, but actually it was because the headline said new and improved, yet old and the same. And that was really important for us because we know that Peg lovers want to come back to the things they love about the Pegasus. So there are a few things that we kept the same. One of them is the fit. That fit should feel pretty similar and consistent from the 38 onwards because we've used the same last. The midfoot hug that is pretty iconic to the Pegasus. We've used the same midfoot saddle here as in the Peg 40, just helping ensuring that every foot shape feels secure on the run. We've also used the same Zoom Air engine, so the same two Zoom Air bags that we had in the Peg 39 and the 40. One in the heel, one in the forefoot. Zoom Air is obviously our fastest air. Some of the differences are, firstly, in the upper, you've just got more comfort there. So it's a lighter, more breathable upper, also with a bit of a softer hand feel. And then in the midsole, that's really where the magic happens, and it's this pairing and combination of Zoom Air with React X. It's the first time that we've used React X in the Pegasus, and React X is an evolution of React, and it's 13% more responsive and has a 43% less carbon impact. So really the main difference is that we've used a more responsive foam with our most responsive air to have a higher energy return. At the same time, it's more sustainable by using less energy.
And I think if I remember well, last night you also mentioned the stack height has been increased a little bit, but also the width of the midsole went a bit up. Yeah. Can you explain why and how that will affect the ride or the perception that runners will have with the Pegasus 41?
The new stack heights are 27-37, so same offset of 10 millimeters, but the height has gone up almost 3 millimeters, so 2.8 to be precise has gone up. So you get better foam, but also more foam is another one of the differences. And yes, the nets have widened, particularly when you look at where there's actual ground contact. So if you look at the forefoot, the midfoot, and then in the heel, where there's actual ground contact, if you take a men's US size 10, then there's an increase of 2 millimeters in the forefoot, 2 in the midfoot, and actually 6 in the heel. So that should result in a more stable feeling. Whenever we go up in height, we'll add a bit more width. We've done that this time just to create a new standard of neutral stability.
There's many shoes, good shoes in the Nike lineup, the Invincible, the Infinity, the Vomero, the Pegasus. And for a beginner runner, that can be a bit confusing, especially for people who believe they have a bit of pronation, maybe too much pronation. They may be leaning towards the structure, a shoe on which you worked on as well. This one being more stable now. How would you describe the ideal runner, let's say, who would benefit from the Pegasus in their daily running?
For me, I always go back to just my time at Nike. I've had so many people call me up or send me texts like, hey, can you get me a pair of running shoes? Or like, I'm just starting running, what should I run in? And 9 times out of 10, I'll send them a Peg. Especially if I don't know too much about their running style. You just know you can trust it because the Pegasus is really built for all types of runners and all runs. So whether that's your first run, your long easy run, or a tempo run, which is exactly how we briefed it. Right at the beginning, so in the very first introduction in 1982, the brief on the design intent, which was actually our former CEO Mark Parker, him and the team were very intent on trying to create a shoe that was versatile, and also for every runner. And so that intent still remains true today. So really, it's a great place to start from. And then if you want more stability, you can go into the structure, or if you want more cushioning, you can go into the Vomero.
Thank you for that. And now I have two, let's say, opening questions for you regarding the future of Pegasus. We're here in Greece at the Pegasus relay. People will be running in this shoe for the relay, and my question is, in 10 years, maybe there's going to be another event here in Greece or somewhere else. Greece being quite connected to Pegasus and Nike, actually. How do you imagine the Pegasus that will be worn in 10 years by runners? Is it going to be very consistent with the product that we have here in front of us, or do you see major disruptions because of the directions the industry is going to?
Great question. I think what I would hope, and if you really look at just the history of Pegasus, although the Pegasus look has changed and it has evolved, there are still things that have remained true. And I think the intent is that those core things, the things that are really integral to a Pegasus, should hold true even in 10 years' time. And so that idea of being suitable for all runners on all runs should be true. The kind of the fit that you kind of feel like that's a Pegasus, the idea of something that's cushioned but a bit firmer and gives you spring when you want it, should all still hold true. I think we'll just continue to listen to runners and athletes to evolve, and I have no doubt that we'll have better foams, more sustainable products in the future, also focusing on how we can continue to make runners better, and also how we can do better when it comes to sustainability. We'll continue to think of that. And I actually really like the fact that back in the days of running, the first question that we would ask ourselves is, how do you make it lighter? And now the very first question is, how do you make it more sustainable? And then we get to some of those other things.
And my last question is maybe a personal take from you. I'm actually wearing an old Pegasus, and we have this trend now that all the shoes are becoming trendy, but more as lifestyle sneakers. There you go. And I would like to know whether you believe the Pegasus 41 may or may not in 20 years become that icon again, if this trend of lifestyle shoes keeps on growing.
When I was selling Pegasus 20 years ago, I guess I never thought that I would be wearing them 20 years later. And so, yeah, why not? I really think that that's very possible. And I can see this colour being pretty iconic in years to come. And I think hopefully it also helps. Not only is the shoes something that is memorable, hopefully, to people, but also the event and the setting that we're in right now will come with the story of this shoe, which hopefully will kind of set it to be iconic in years to come.
Rachel, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. If you have questions for Rachel or in general about the Pegasus, let us know in the comments. We'll try to answer as many of them as we can. Thanks all for watching today. Enjoy your run, enjoy your ride, and go beyond your limits. We'll see you in the next one.